Okay, first of all, I would like to say hello to the teacher, and I want to give all my high respect to the teacher also. My name is Chom Chavan and come from group T-Max, and we are here to presentation about the classification essay. For this term, we have studied many things, a lot from our teacher. So before we start, I want to introduce my group members. My name Trevor, then Bubon, then Ms. Sipik, uh, Sister Dani, Father Supanan. Let's move. Okay, here is our content. And the first content is what is a classification essay. Second content is how to write a classification essay. And in the second content also divided into small different four letter, like A, structure, B, brainstorming, C, developing idea, D, writing and editing. And the last content is things to consider when writing a classification essay. Next, here is what is a classification essay. Classification essay is the essay that we write and break the things or point in the body to category, and also giving example to express more detail in each category. We can classify classification essay with ideas, characters, or objects with shared characteristics into specific group or categories. One, here is second content, how to write a classification essay. First, choose classification essay structure. Second, brainstorm and outline. Third, developing idea. The last is writing and editing. Next, uh, here is classification structure. In classification structure, they have always learned about like the essay structure. They have introduction. The first is introduction, sorry. Second is body, and in the body also divided into uh, the first category with example, second category with example, third category with example, and the last one is conclusion. So here is the structure of the classification essay. It is different from other essay, just a little bit. So move on to the next. Here is for my classmate or my partner in the group, they will respond to. So please enjoy.
Yes, so first of all, I would like to say hello to my dear teacher. My name is Sinsrepak, and I would like to continue from Mr. Torah about an outlining. As I can know, like you might have an outlining, but an outlining can make you write a good essay. So you all maybe know that about the main three part of an essay. We have introduction, body paragraph, and conclusion. And about the introduction, you need to tell the reader what the item or idea you will be classifying. Explain why the subject is difficult to classify. And the last is the important part, state the thesis statement. And about the body paragraph, begin with the topic sentence that relate to your thesis statement. Explain each specific support your classification. Explain why you have placed the item in that classification instead of the other. The last, explain why your classification make a larger point about the item. So let's move on to the next point. So this is about the conclusion. Like conclusion, you need to follow all of these three main parts. Like you need to earn classification essay by passing the main part. It is important to restate your thesis statement while starting your conclusion. Restate your thesis statement. Summarize the different classification you have discussed. Summarize why you place a particular item in a specific classification and why it suits the item. So you need to follow all of these conclusion, the three out of this. So that all out of my points. So let's move to my classmate.
Okay, hello and good morning, sir and everyone. Now I'm going to explain my point. Yes, when writing a classification essay, you should establish meaningful and logical categories by using similar characteristics, qualities, or functions. The groupings should also share a single underlying principle in order to preserve unity. And let's see the example. One principle of classification for archivists, publishers, librarians are people who work with books. Archivists, publishers, and librarians all belong to that group. And the second example, one principle for classification of for surveyor, architect, civil engineer is people who work to build something. Next slide, please. Yes, and the next part is about establishing the order of importance, degree, and size. When you created logical categories for your classification essay, you will need to organize the information in a logical order. Yes, and you have to arrange facts in order of importance, degree, or size will help you establish useful hierarchies. Yes, hierarchies mean arranging in order. And let's compare these two examples, example 1 and example number 2, and consider which one is better. Example number 1, an important skill to succeed in teaching is the ability to communicate ideas. Another important skill is the ability to break down information. Computer skills are also important. Next slide, please. Yes, and example number 2, the most important skill needed to succeed in teaching is the ability to break down information. The second most important skill is the ability to communicate ideas. Computer skills are useful, but are the least important ability needed to be a teacher. Yes, after seeing these two examples, we can see that the second example is better than the first one because they organize the information in a logical order. Yes, we can move to the next slide. Here are some following expressions to rank objects or ideas in order of importance, degree, or size. Yes, when your idea is the most or the greatest, you can use this phrase like the fastest, the best, the highest, the largest, the maximum, the most significant, and the most important. Yes, and your second idea or your second greatest, you can use the word the second fastest, the next best, the second highest, or the second largest. And the last idea or the least or the fewest, you can use the word the worst, the lowest, the smallest, the minimum, the least significant, and the least important. And all of these expressions, you can use it. Depends on your topic. Next slide, please. Yes, let's see the example. The highest percentage of the total number of teachers work in high schools. The second highest amount teach in primary schools, and the smallest number of teachers work in university. Okay, when you want to show similarity or equality, you can use the word the same, almost the same, and similar to. And for example, the skills needed in succeed in some professions are the same. And the second example, the abilities to sing a song are similar to recite a poem. Yes, in summary all of my points, when you write a classification essay, you have to organize the information in a logical order. So you will get a good classification as you want. Okay, that's all for my point, and my teammates will explain you the next point. Thank you.
Okay, so the first and foremost, I would like to say respected to dear sir and hello everyone. My name is Bubon, and now I'm going to present you about writing and editing. Okay, so as we know that there are many ways that we can use to edit in your writing, but today I just select only 4 things that we have to know and we have to use to edit in your writing. Okay, so the first one, we have to make sure that the punctuation is correct and proper. And second is we have to make sure capital letters have been used correctly. And for the third, we have to make sure each idea is to one paragraph. And for the last one, we have to read to make sure spelling, grammar, syntax, and sentence structure is correct. Okay. So now let's come back again to see in detail one by one. Okay, so for the first one, we have to make sure the punctuation is correct and proper. Okay, so this point is mean that correct grammar is true across the board and is error-free, and proper grammar is suitable or appropriate considering the social standard. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is correct. Knowingly correct and proper punctuation can traces your words and ensures that the readers read what you actually say and what you mean to say. Okay, and for second one is about we have to make sure capital letters have been used correctly. Okay, so this point is mean that while punctuation helps arrange words into understandable written communication, capitalization helps to show the importance of specific words. And however, capitalization also dips into the mechanic of writing. Okay, so and about third point is we have to make sure each idea is to one paragraph. Okay, so this point is mean that all paragraph helps organize the work, and the idea is the main point in every paragraph. Okay, and in expressing an idea, every paragraph must be different idea, and avoid using repetitive idea in the same paragraph to prevent the reader from getting bored of their reading. So we have to use different idea in every single paragraph. Okay, so the last one, the last one is we have to read to make sure spelling, grammar, syntax, and sentence structure is correct. Okay, for this point it means that spelling check is great, but it doesn't replace a human editor. In this point, I recommend rereading before and after you check your spelling document. So to make sure that there are no inconsistencies in your work. Okay, and some errors can be corrected by simply reading in a document aloud over and over again. Okay, so that should be all for my point. So now let's continue to the next point with Prada's panel. Thank you.
So first of all, hello to teacher and also hello to everyone. So my part is about things to consider when you're writing a classification essay. It's also the conclusion too for this presentation that we will talking about some important point that you must to know and you need to understand before you writing a classification essay. So first is about structure. So when you're writing a classification essay, you must to make sure that you follow the classification structure. So don't be confused that. And the second part is about establish meaningful and logical categories using the similar characteristic, quality, or function. And another point is about expression to rank object or idea in order of importance, degree, or size. And for more important point is about language use. So the language must be clear and can help the reader form the image. And another point is using enough supporting detail for each main idea. And for the last point, and also the most important thing is about using the correct grammar. So after you writing the essay, you need to recheck again to make sure that the grammar is correct and the structure is correct and everything is follow the classification structure and also the organization too. So that's all for my point. And for the next point, our friend will go to the classification sample that we will discuss about what is classification essay look like. And so let's move to the next part.
So hello, it's me again. So I would like to tell you what the classification essay look like. So this is the classification essay, the different type of computer. When asked to describe a computer, a lot of terms can easily enter the mind. Mostly, these terms tell something about the capability, size, expected use of the unit, even though the word computer in itself apply to any device run by a microprocessor. A lot of people relate computer to device that get input coming from the user via a keyboard or mouse, processing in within and displaying the output of the screen. The computer may be divided into categories depending on the purpose in which they are used, including the capabilities. So this is all of the introduction. Now let's move to the body. One of the most popular type of microprocessor used this is the personal computer, PC. It has been designed for common use by individuals, even though a Mac in technically a PC, a lot of people relate this term with different system running Windows as its operating system. PC were also known first as microcomputers since they were also a complete computer unit that is built on a small scale compared to a bigger system that is used by the modern business. So this is the body one, and now let's move to the body two. A PC may also come into different types, but can be counted as three if personal digital as PDAs are included. The two main types including the desktop and laptop computers. A desktop computer is not designed with portability in mind. The most common expectation with desktop computer are that you need to set this type of computer in a location that is permanent. They also generally offer more storage capacity, more power and versatility, alongside affordability. So this is all the body. So now let's move to conclusion. A computer may act as a server within this has to be optimized in order to offer service to another computer within a network. These servers are generally run using powerful processors with hard drive and a lot of memory. So this is the example of the classification essay. And our group member is about to earn right now. So thank you for the teacher that paying attention to our group member, and thank you for listening to us.